New at 10, a 5-year-old boy found wandering alone along a busy street after leaving his school unnoticed. His parents are demanding answers tonight. Fox 11's Chelsea Edwards, she's live in Valencia with this story. This is a parent's worst nightmare. Chelsea.
I mean, it really is. And those parents demanding answers, and they want action as well. They sent their 5-year-old son off to kindergarten one day earlier this month, and it ended up hours later he was discovered here on this very busy portion of McBean Parkway in Valencia. Take a look.
How long was he wandering the streets alone?
It's a question that still haunts Natalie and Brett Epstein, whose 5-year-old son Oliver somehow slipped away from his Valencia after-school program on November 4th. Oliver went off to kindergarten in North Park Elementary that morning and was supposed to go straight to the school's after-hours program. But he somehow ended up all by himself near a McDonald's on McBean Parkway, 1.2 miles away, just yards from a memorial for someone who'd been killed there. Brett got a frantic call from the kid's nanny, who happened to be driving by and spotted Oliver.
Exasperated, she's saying, Don Brett, Oliver en la calle, Oliver en la calle. And, you know, I'm not that good at Spanish, so I'm thinking maybe I don't understand what she's saying. And she said, she's out of breath. And I said, Oliver's in the street? What are you talking about? Oh my God, he's in the corner here by McDonald's, blah, 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 blah. I said, can you get him? Yes, I'll get him in the car.
After several panicked calls between the parents and the nanny, Natalie called the after-school program saying,
Brett just called me and said, Oliver's on the sidewalk near McBean. Oh no, he's here. And so I called Brett back immediately and said, Brett, but they just said he's there. And at that point, Brett's by the garage door's opening, and Oliver's coming inside. When I got home, of course I was crying. And he just put his head on my lap and started crying. So I know he was probably really scared to be alone.
The school says it immediately conducted an investigation. Quote, based on what we learned from this incident, appropriate corrective action has been taken, including but not limited to improvements in student supervision protocols and in securing facilities. That response, simply not enough for the Epsteins.
If it weren't for our nanny finding him, a police officer would have been at our door telling us our son would have been hit by a car.
She's an angel.
Someone was watching over Oliver at that moment.
On Tuesday, Brett addressed the school board in an impassioned call for action.
Think about what I'm telling you. Our 5-year-old son crossed busy streets alone. He walked past strangers, any one of who could have abducted him. He was one distracted driver, one wrong turn, and one predator away from a news story that destroys families.
The family feels like their pleas fell on deaf ears.
You kind of feel like you're talking to robots in a way. You know, they've heard this before, they've heard some story about it, that maybe they're tired, it's late, they're hungry. Okay, well, this is our pain. This is our potential tragedy, or as close to it as we came.
Now, the Epsteins say this is not an isolated incident. They've now learned. They say they met another family whose son went through a very similar situation back in 2019, and they say no action was taken at that time. And this just in today, the Saugus Union School District's superintendent, Dr. Colleen Hawkins, who you heard from in that piece, in that statement, she has just announced her retirement effective July 1st in 2026. So she will not remain on with the district after her 8 years of serving there. She didn't cite this instance specifically as any reason for her leaving. It was more personal reasons, but still kind of interesting, the timing. Reporting live from Valencia, I'm Chelsea Edwards. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Yes, the optics are very interesting. All right, Chelsea, thanks.